That's Shena, and she's just fantastic, isn't she? And that's why we play so much of her stuff on the radio, and hopefully she's online right now. Hi, Shena.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. You're in the UK, right? I don't know whereabouts, but somewhere.
Epsom Downs.
Oh, right, Epsom.
Yes.
Oh, I used to live...
Green.
Yeah, in the posh part of town.
Quite posh, yeah. I'm in it, so it can't be that posh.
Which brings me to my first question, actually. Are you a kind of shopping at Tesco's on a Saturday morning type, or are you the sort of white fur coat and dark sunglasses and long cigarette holder type?
It depends on what I've been doing the night before. If I've been partying the night before, then it's the white coat.
Oh, right.
If it's, oh my God, I haven't got anything for Sunday lunch, then it's popped down to local Tesco's or Asda or whatever.
Oh, right.
Whatever's nearest.
Yeah, sure. Do people recognise you when you're in the street, Shena?
Not so much here,
right.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But a couple of people sort of gone on my website and said, a couple of kids and stuff, sort of said, oh, that's the girl that came to our school and blah, 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 So very occasionally, yes.
Well, it's fantastic that you're in the business because you probably started at an early age, did you, singing?
I did, yes, I did. I've come from quite a musical family and I've always sung from, way back when. Yeah. Basically, when I was a little kid. So it's always been a pleasure to do.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that you did a lot of works doing backing vocalists for, before going solo. Have you performed backing with anyone we know, famous people?
Quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
I've worked with people like Lisa Stansfield, Luther Vandross.
Wow.
I've worked with Amy Winehouse, Charlotte Church.
Wow.
Just people like that, Girls Aloud, Sugar Babes.
Yeah.
And Danny Minogue. I mean, it goes on. There's quite a few people. The late James Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Just worked with some fantastic people. I've been very, very blessed in that respect, yes.
Well, that's great. And, of course, now you're doing big things on your own, and you're just terrific voice. I've got to say, Shena, how you can sort of pitch so perfectly when you're stepping up and down notes. It's really a pleasure to listen to, you know what I mean?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So,
thank you for supporting my music as well. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've been playing your stuff ever since we heard you doing stuff in the early days, like D'Souza, the Guilty thing. And you've worked with other stars as well and sort of put your name featuring Shena as well, haven't you?
I have, yes. I've worked with people like Alex Gaudino and I've worked with Michael Gray and people like that, really, Freemasons. I've done quite a lot of some big named sort of DJs and producers. It's been fantastic, actually. And it's still coming as well. I mean, there's people all the time, wanting to collaborate and do more and more things, and it's like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at an early age, and you came up through the ranks, I suppose, doing the clubs and everything else, sort of before you got into the kind of big time.
Yeah, I mean, I did the sort of rounds. I mean, I went to the academy. I went to the music college over here, and sort of graduated. And then I went into sort of the theatre world. I did Mama, I Want to Sing, and things like that. What a Feeling, and things like that. Carmen Jones. And then I sort of decided that I didn't want to sort of dwell in that area. I wanted to go into the sort of commercial scene. Yeah. And I started doing things like what's it called, JX, and all different things right through the ranks. And then I got introduced to Michael Gray. My partner, and that he wanted a soul singer, and that's kind of where I had the relationship, formed the relationship with Full Intention and Michael Gray and John Pern, and then it sort of went from there. Basically, the weekend, no one knew it was going to be as massive as it was, and then it just exploded. And from there, it's just gone from strength to strength. So
sure, and the kind, and the style of music, I guess, it's a kind of soul-y, Motowny, and then the chic feel, of course, the sort of Nile Rodgers, Bernie Edwards kind of feel. And it's great that you've kind of brought that up again, because that kind of sound will never die, and you've kind of refreshed the whole scene on that. Absolutely. Well, I'm in close contact with Joni Sledge and Kim Sledge, and I saw them last week, and I'm lucky enough to be able to meet the sort of icons of the 70s, 50s,
who are still doing their thing, and I suppose I'm like the next generation. But it's just fantastic to have that inspiration behind me. Just to be able to go, just get a Donna Summer album out and just talk to. It's just fantastic.
It must be, yeah. And of course, you were only a baby girl when these hits were kind of in the charts the first time round.
I was born in the 70s. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to experience them. I got to experience them second time round, basically. No, actually, my sister is a bit older than me. She's an absolute major 70s disco queen, if you like.
Yeah.
And, all the rest of it, and she's just been a fan from day one. So I've sort of learned a lot from her, really.
So, how are you received in other countries? Because, although it was very popular, say, in the States and in the UK, but I suppose it was famous abroad too. But how do you go down, say, in Russia or the USA?
I have to tell you, at the moment, I would say that Russia is my biggest market.
Is it really?
I'm even learning Russian.
Are you?
Yeah. Можно.
Good gracious me.
Because when I go, it's just ridiculous. You go over there, and it's not ridiculous, it's fantastic, but you go over there, you get treated like, disco royalty, basically. You put in the best hotels.
Yeah.
The clubs are usually packed.
Yeah.
People all know your music, right from, all of it. The Guilty track, Weekend, Can't Stop the Rain.
Yeah.
And they just play it, and they expect you to come out and they say all the hits, so they expect you to go through the whole lot and do, 30 to 45 minute set.
Yeah,
absolutely fine. And then the paps come out and taking pictures of you, interviewing you, and
fantastic.
It's incredible, actually.
Yeah.
But, and having said that, not just there, I get quite a big following in Germany. I don't know if that's because of the Weekend, because I did practically every single club in Germany when I was promoting the Weekend.
Yeah.
And the States, I've got it obviously from the disco side, because obviously that's the home of disco.
Yes.
When I was in LA and stuff, they're absolutely, please bring back disco. We want it. Come back. Bring your music out.
Yeah.
We need it. So, I'm mostly Europe as well. It's just been fantastic.
Really. It is,
and it's coming back. It really is.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
I'm quite surprised. I didn't expect it to be
as big as it is. Yeah, that's right. Well, you're already huge, but I can see the time when we're going to see Shena with #1 hits, and it's just going to. I think it can only get bigger from the place it is now, can't it?
Well, I hope so. I've got my album coming out, which you probably know.
Yes.
Am I allowed to plug it?
Yes, please do.
Album release is called 2079, and it's out on the 30th of August.
Right, 30th of August.
And it's 2079, obviously, is reference to 1979, when it was the peak of disco.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But obviously, because times have moved on now, and now in the noughties.
Yes.
I've reflected that with the album, so it's not just. It's got the elements of the sort of 70s, 80s era, with the sort of, the retro element with the brass and the strings and some of the beats and things. But we've brought it up to date.
Right.
To make it a bit more modern, because obviously you can't just go and rehash, the 70s, it was fantastic. You can't improve on that.
No, sure.
Something a bit different.
Yeah.
And that's what we've intended, that's what we've aimed to do with this album, and brought disco into the noughties, basically.
Yeah, well, actually, you're actually young enough to probably be around in 2079. Wouldn't that be spooky?
That would be really spooky.
Yeah.
I would be probably on the Zimmer frame, though.
Well, you might be, yeah. I think you'd have to bring the key down on one or two of your songs, actually.
Yeah, exactly.